What if the greatest stranger has always been yourself? You have lived inside this mind for your entire life. No one has spent more time with your thoughts, your memories, your fears, your hopes, your dreams. So it feels obvious that you know yourself. But perhaps that certainty is only another story your mind keeps telling itself. Right now, a thought is about to appear. You do not know what it will be. And then it simply arrives. You did not watch yourself creating it. You simply became aware that it was already there. Try it again. Wait for the next thought. It appears. If you never choose the next thought before it arrives, who is thinking it? For centuries, philosophers have chased this ghost. In the 18th century, David Hume searched for the self by looking inward. He found memories, emotions, sensations, thoughts. But no matter how carefully he searched, he never found a permanent self. Hume concluded, what we call the self may simply be a constantly changing bundle of experiences. There is thinking, there is feeling, there is remembering. But where is the thinker? But not everyone agreed. Immanuel Kant believed Hume had uncovered something important. But he thought Hume had gone too far. Kant argued, although we never perceive the self directly, every experience must belong to a unified subject. Not an object that can be observed, but the condition that makes observation possible.
If Hume was right, the self disappears. If Kant was right, the self remains, even though it cannot be seen. So, which is it? Centuries later, modern neuroscience entered the conversation. Much of what your brain does happens before you become aware of it. Your heartbeat, your breathing, your emotional responses, and perhaps many of your decisions begin unconsciously. In the 1980s, Benjamin Libet observed that measurable brain activity could appear before participants reported their conscious intention to act. Some researchers argue this challenges our ordinary understanding of free will. Others disagree. They argue Libet's experiments cannot settle the philosophical question of human freedom. But everyone agrees the relationship between consciousness and decision is stranger than it first appears. Then, the mystery deepened. In split brain patients, the connection between the brain's hemispheres was surgically divided, and something extraordinary began to happen. The left hand could act independently of the right. One hemisphere could know something. The other did not. If one brain can produce two independent centers of awareness, how many selves exist inside one person?
Perhaps the self is not a thing. Perhaps it is a story. The philosopher Daniel Dennett proposed that what we call the self may be a center of narrative gravity. Not an object, but a story the brain continuously tells about itself. Every memory is woven together. Thomas Metzinger goes even further. He argues that no one has ever experienced a self. Only a remarkably convincing self-model. A model so seamless that we mistake it for reality.
Perhaps there has never been a single philosopher who completely solved the mystery of the self. Perhaps each one only revealed a different part of the mystery. But perhaps the strangest discovery is not that the self is mysterious. Perhaps the mystery is that the one asking the question may also be part of the mystery. And perhaps before asking who you are, you must first ask, who is asking?